Igneous rocks form when the magma or lava cools so much that it hardens. Some of these form at the surface or under the ocean, and some form below the ground.
Konnichiwa! Wow, limestone collector. Can you tell me about the basic rock types, please?
Wow, sedimentary rocks! Coincidentally, they are made from sediment. In order for these to be formed, they need to be cemented. Like this cement mixer!
Wow, limestone collector. Can you tell me more about the basic rock types, please? Wow, I want to go on the swing.
Sure thing, kid, let's go!
Wow, what is involved in the forming of these cool sedimentary rocks?
Well, it's simple, kid. Let me show you. Well, here's the thing, kid. They transpire with pressure. There are substances in rocks and soils, and they act as natural sediments, like here.
But Phil, what are sediments?
Well, it's simple, kid. Sediments are breaking off pieces of all types of rocks. These broken off pieces can be used to create igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks.
That's awesome!
Hang on there, Bill. There's more than sedimentary rocks than what meets the eye. Sedimentary rocks are classified by the type of sediment. I just want to play some Tetris now.
But tell me!
Okay, I'll tell you while I play Tetris. The three basic types of sediments are formed from pieces of weathered rocks, from minerals and crystallization from solution, and from dead organisms. I just met my high score! Yes!
Wow, Steve, is it different types of sedimentary rocks?
Oh, Bill, of course they are. There are three different types of sedimentary rocks: clastic, chemical, and organic, with different individualities as they form in different ways.
Can you give me a short description on each of the characteristics? I love to be a geologist.
Sure thing, kid.
Clastic sedimentary rocks are layered rocks. The grains are cemented together and the rocks may contain some fossils. Moving on to chemical sedimentary rocks. Most of them have crystals in them. They're also quite soft. Last but not least, organic sedimentary rocks. Sometimes they contain fossils but only a small part of the rock. They are usually soft, although some can be quite hard.
Wow, Steve, what about igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks?
Alright, kid. I'm only a limestone collector. I don't know much about the other types. How about asking your daddy, Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Okay. Hey, Daddy, can you tell me about the igneous and metamorphic rocks?
Sure thing.
Igneous rocks form when the magma or lava cools so much that it hardens. Some of these form at the surface or under the ocean, and some form below the ground.
These were the first rocks of the crust and upper mantle. They were formed long ago. Magma melting into the crust begins to cool because it loses heat to the cooler rocks around it. Some of the characteristics of igneous rocks are hard because the materials they have are hard and strong because the mineral crystals that make them up made of interlocking crystals that have grown into them. Most igneous rocks were formed millions of years ago. Lots of underground intrusive rocks have been uncovered to the surface, and many above ground extrusive rocks have been buried. The stated is not enough to classify them as intrusive or extrusive. It is hard to classify them unless geologists look at texture and color of the rock. Extrusive rocks have tiny crystals in them. The fast cooling of these crystals harden very fast, so large crystals don't have a chance to grow. Extrusive rocks have tiny crystals in them. The fast cooling of these crystals harden very fast, so large crystals don't have a chance to grow. Intrusive rocks contain large crystals, which can often be seen with our horoscope. They are an effect of slowly moving magma.
Basalt, dolerite, granite, scoria are used for building things. Pumice is used for cleaning dead skin of feet, and emery boards for shaping nails. Obsidian is used to make scalpel blade for surgery in hospitals. They can also be made into jewelry and ornaments.
Wow, thanks Daddy, that was a lot. I think I'll stick to discovering them by myself.
Oh no, what's happening?
Wow, what's this? It looks like someone tried to attack me with a metamorphic rock. I wonder how metamorphic rocks are formed. Whoa, what's happening?
Hey dude, do you know some rocks are like crystals, right? If you take out amorphic out of metamorphic and add a H, you get math, like crystal math. But crystal meth has nothing to do with metamorphic rocks. Let's get to the point. I'm Kawaii Kami-sama desu, and this is my rock tree. Metamorphic rocks are used for many purposes. Many of them are very hard and are ideal for building work. Some good examples are gneiss and quartzite. Slate splits into flat sheets and is used for floors and roofing. There are many gemstones found in metamorphic rocks like ruby, sapphire, turquoise, lapis lazuli, jade, and garnet, which are used for jewelry. One commonly used metamorphic rock is marble, which is used in sculptures because it is cut and carved with ease. Marble is also used in buildings for walls and floors.
Now, how is it formed? Well, metamorphic rocks are formed when high temperature and pressure alter existing igneous and sedimentary rocks. Metamorphic rocks can also form from other metamorphic rocks. The word metamorphic means that it has changed form. Rock changes into metamorphic form when it experiences strong heat and tremendous pressure. The changes may be physical or chemical, which can develop the formation of new minerals not made out in the other rock types. There are two types of metamorphism: regional metamorphism and contact metamorphism. Regional metamorphism is metamorphism over a wide area. Lots of heat and pressure can be caused by movements within the Earth's crust. These move around on the mantle and collide and scrape past each other, which are then heated up and compressed in the process. Contact metamorphism happens at certain local places on a smaller level than regional metamorphism. This happens when rocks come in contact with hot magma and it pushes through the mantle and the crust. This means that metamorphic rocks can also be formed close to the surface. Some things that cause changes to metamorphic rocks is heat and pressure, which is a process called crystallization where new crystals grow as the rock is being cooled down. The rock is molten. The particles can move around when new minerals can be created. A reason why metamorphic rocks have more different minerals than igneous rocks. Another change is in the pressure of the rock. Minerals in the rocks can be squashed, making layers. They may build up layers or bands. The minerals could be squashed flat or into long needle shapes. The total quantity of banding is dependent on the extent of heat and pressure.
Am I still in a dream?
No.
Now that I know about the three types of rocks, how does the rock cycle work?
The rock cycle, it's simple!
You see, rocks don't always stay the same. Over time they change. Things such as weathering and heat can change a rock into a different kind of rock. You see, when magma is cooled, it makes crystal, which turns into igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, when heated with immense pressure, will turn into metamorphic rock. This happens mostly under the surface.
If I'm correct, igneous rocks can turn into sediments when going through erosion and weathering. They then turn into sedimentary rocks when put through the process of cementing and compacting.
Yes, that's true. Once sediments are put through the process of cementing and compacting, they turn into sedimentary rocks. But did you know if you put pressure and heat on a sedimentary rock, then it will turn into a metamorphic rock?
Metamorphic rocks can also turn into sediments and magma. To turn into magma, the metamorphic rock goes through the process of melting, which is usually done with immense heat. To turn into sediments, the metamorphic rock goes through weathering and erosion.
Just like metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks can also turn into sediments and magma. The process is pretty much the same as metamorphic, melting to turn into magma and erosion and weathering to turn into sediments.
It is also impossible for an igneous rock to turn into a sedimentary without first turning into a metamorphic or sediments. This is the same with sedimentary rocks, but instead they can only turn into igneous rocks only once they turn into metamorphic.
Well, thanks for the short note, Bill. And that's how the rock cycle works.